Yo. Another week, another hip hop podcast. It's Mayron with the prelude to the podcast episode today. I had some announcements and some housekeeping stuff I wanted to take care of before the episode got started and some things I wanted to talk to you guys about. So, first things first, I know we've been away for a couple weeks. Things have gotten both incredibly busy and incredibly stressful for Brie and I, just with all the things in life. It's Ramadan for me, so I'm not eating or drinking. So as a result, schedules are all over the place. However, we're finally back on track, and we've both been working really, really hard to make a lot of improvements to the podcast and bring you guys a bunch of new things, some of which we'll be preparing very, very soon. Now, the best way to find out about all the new stuff we're going to bring you is to not only follow us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever you like, but also to follow us on our new Twitter, which is @AHipHopPodcast. And this is a page where all the podcast information will now live and reside. We finally decided to do one. Shouts to Dave for pestering us. Shout outs to Lex for suggesting it months ago. We really needed to get on that, and we did. The other thing that we wanted to talk about is we have been working on our Apple Music presence. So we've been making playlists associated with each episode, which we will be releasing pretty soon. I want to say this week. So again, check our Twitter page for that. So now you can go back and listen to an episode if you haven't heard it before, and then hear the actual music we're talking about that's associated with it. So it's really, really dope. Shouts to Bria on that for sure. What else? Oh, many other things I want to talk to you about. So this episode is titled, I believe, What We've Been Listening to for the first half of 2019. It unfortunately does not include all the things released this week because obviously this episode was pre-recorded about 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point. And so we do not get a chance to talk about Igor and Meg Thee Stallion and Khaled and Injury Reserve and all these other amazing albums that came out this Friday. But rest assured, we are going to talk about them. And rest assured, you are going to get our full view, at least, on what it is those albums represent for those artists and how dope we thought they were. And I think almost all the albums that came out Friday were pretty amazing. My personal favorite, Injury Reserve, we can get into that later. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is I'm starting a segment on the podcast called Mayron's SoundCloud Corner, in which I talk about 2 or 3 projects that I really enjoy, that I think don't get enough shine, but I want people to listen to and to really get a feel for. And so today, I think actually I'm going to talk to you about 2 of them right now, because what's a better time to start than in the present? So without further ado, here's Mayron's SoundCloud Corner. Again, this is before the episode actually starts. Clears throat. So today on Mayron's SoundCloud Corner, I wanted to talk about 2 projects, one of which came out earlier this week, not Friday. And the first one is Photo, F-O-T-O, by Kota the Friend. Kota the Friend, K-O-T-A. You can find this entire project on SoundCloud. It's about 19 tracks, and it's about an hour long. It is amazing. Thematically, it really, really sticks to the title of Photo, and you'll find out more about that as you listen through. I think every single song is a sort of full-on experience where every single song can exist on its own, but it's still cohesive as a project. I think Kota the Friend really does live up to his name, being Kota the Friend. One of the big things I got out of this project is, like, as I'm listening to a car, I felt like he was in the car next to me, just telling me about his life, just telling me about his experiences, sort of as you would with an old friend as you guys take a drive somewhere or you guys just catch up and talk. I think a lot of that is present in this album and present in the way that he delivers. He talks about things from gentrification to religion to old relationships, all these things that, like, you would talk about with a friend. And it's very both a personal album and an album that makes you feel good from the inside out. I would say my favorite songs to start off with are Sedona, Chicago Diner, Solar Return, which actually features Saba, and the last song, which is, or not the last song, close to the last song, which is called Four Colored Boys. Kota did an amazing job, and if you love the Chicago Justice League of rappers, Saba, Chance, Smino, No Name, you'll love this album. Another album that I wanted to talk to you guys about that I think everyone should listen to is actually from another person from Chicago. I don't know if Kota is from Chicago, but a lot of the people he associates with are. Kota released something I think that is great to reflect on the outward state of things, right? He talks about a lot of the things going on sort of around him. This next project I want to talk about is by a guy named from Chicago, like I said, called AUSAR Music. That's AUSAR, and you can find him on SoundCloud at AUSAR Music. And in 2017, he released this EP called Growth. And it's only about 4 tracks, so you guys should just go listen to the whole thing and have a blast. But what I would say about it is the highest praise I can give it, actually, is if you were allowed to listen to music while praying, this is the kind of music that I listen to. The way he talks about growth, the way he sort of narrates the themes of growing and being something bigger and standing on solid ground in just the first 2 songs alone really make me think about what I want from my life and how I want to be as I grow as a person. And I don't think there's much better music in the world than the music that makes you reflect on yourself and makes you think about how you fit into the world. And that's what AUSAR did. I'm not even sure if that's how you say his name, to be honest. So shout outs to him and shout outs to this great thing that he released in 2017. He's been releasing more music afterward, but I would definitely start here. And like I said, there's no higher praise I can give than the fact that this guy can conjure up things inside of you and make you reflect on things inside of you that you didn't realize you should be reflecting on. He also brings an amazing sense of calm. So if you ever need something to listen to, like, sort of calm you down, this is where I'd start. So yeah, without further ado, you're about to get into the real episode. This has just been a small segment of Mayron's SoundCloud Corner. I'm not sure where to place this yet, but we'll find out soon. Thanks you guys so much for listening. And peace and love.
All right. Hello, guys. We are back with another episode. What is this? 16?
15.
Yeah, what's up? I'm Bria, the creator / curator, and other titles and names to come. What's up? I'm here with my favorite host, my only host, but my favorite nonetheless.
That's nice.
It's Mayron. You'll find out more about me as this podcast goes on. We are happy to have you guys back. We are happy to be back. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. This is being recorded on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So shouts to them. Also, I would just like to, this is a completely tangential point that has nothing to do with this episode, but I want this on wax. So in one of my group chats, I brought up the idea of like Paul Millsap, who's an NBA player, just being around forever. And now I have 45 unread messages about Paul Millsap. And if you're an NBA fan, you'll understand how ridiculous this is. This is just a laugh for those who watch basketball. So
what? Super random. Was not expecting that, but
I looked at my phone. I'm like, why are they still talking about fucking Paul?
Get all
Millsap?
the tea here, man.
Yeah. In any case,
no basketball.
Yes, the finals are gonna be soon. One day we should do a episode on hip hop and its relationship to sports.
I would love to, especially basketball. I mean, all I can really discuss is basketball.
Yeah,
but
that's all I can.
Cool.
Speak to
Yeah.
as well.
I don't know if does hip hop like football? I don't know. Does football like hip hop? Does football like anything?
Well, that's true. As an organization, football definitely dislikes hip hop. But one day we should definitely do an episode on its relationship to sports and sort of how rappers want to be athletes and athletes want to be rappers.
Like I was just going to say, because half the NBA players I fucking know and respect have tried their hand at rapping or singing. Shout out to Victor.
Yo, Vic Oladipo can sing though, so it's good.
He can. This nigga he's been singing his ass off. I would say longer than he's been playing basketball. Yeah, I knew this nigga as a singer first. Shout out to Victor. They just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Victoria and Victor. Love y'all.
Yeah, man. That's shout out Vic. Shout out to DMV in general. Shout out to all the DMV athletes. Yeah. I'm just glad Kevin Durant hasn't decided he wants to rap.
Oh my God. That would be the worst, but I would revel in that day. I would love it.
He's done an intro on one of Wale's tapes.
And it's like, he raps. KD is just the type of nigga. Look at his hairline. He raps bars in his phone. He does. Like, these niggas asleep. One day they gonna wake. Oh, I would love it, KD. Just send it to me. I promise I won't share it.
He probably has a burner Twitter account where he does do the rapping and he only shares it there. I feel like he just tweets out his own bars. And
we're on to you, Kevin.
Yeah, we're slowly but surely. So I don't think either of us would listen to too much of basketball players rapping, but I think we've listened to a lot of music this year. And I wanted to take a moment in this 5th month of May to just talk about all the music that we've been consuming. As I think a lot of people think, there's been no music that's been released at all this year. That's not strictly true. And I also think that what we listen to sort of shapes how we think and talk about hip hop, and it might be good for our listeners to understand what we're currently listening to as we talk about hip hop and talk about the various things associated with it, because it'll give them a little insight as to like, all right, that's why this person said this, and that's why they said this, and they can argue with us and tell us how we're wrong more effectively.
Yeah, please do.
So, Bria, what you been listening to this year?
Okay, I'm gonna start with this album because I remember talking about it previously, or talking about this artist previously. I want to say it was on the Female MCs episode where I kind of said I wasn't necessarily impressed with this artist. It was Megan Thee Stallion.
Has that changed?
Yeah, I mean, I always fucked with her. Like I said, she's great to look at. I will look at her, shake her ass every single second of this day. But I was concerned about, I guess, the quality of music, the quantity as well. But that's something we can really do with right now. But I was worried about the quality of music compared to like the amount of attention that she was getting, the same amount of attention that a lot of female MCs get without having the talent behind them. So yeah, I've been listening to Megan Thee Stallion's, I guess, this last album that she released.
The Tina Snow shit?
Tina Snow, yeah, I like it.
I like it too, but that's all the reaction that elicits. It's just, I like it. One sentence, period. That's kinda it.
I mean, and I kind of said like, it's not bad. And it's a little, I would give it a little bit more than not bad. It's good. It's a good first. Is this considered her first album?
Her first project, yeah.
Yeah, like if it's her first album, I have more thoughts. If it's considered like more of like her first major project, I think it's pretty fucking solid. I appreciated like the samples / cover, the songs that she covered. I think that was really smart on her hand. And I'm realizing my biggest issue was Big Ol' Freak has grown on me because it's single and I hear it everywhere that I go.
I've gotten sick of it because of that.
I'm actually sick of it because of that. But also, I just don't think it's nowhere near one of the best songs on that project. Yeah, and I always have that issue with so many artists. Their singles are never the best fucking song on the project.
Well, the singles aren't designed to be the best song, right?
I guess. Sometimes
their singles designed to be the most listenable, the most repeatable, the most easily distributable.
Digestible, yeah.
Like, that's the whole
I don't
point
like that
of
shit, man.
I don't like it either.
And I've just accepted, like, I'm the type of nigga that doesn't like the singles. I like the body of work way more than the singles. So I've taken, Megan Thee Stallion is a perfect example. So thanks, girl. I no longer do that. I no longer listen to the singles and get worried. Because I did that with Schoolboy. I did that with Anderson.
We can talk about Crash Talk real quick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, Tina Snow, cool. There are a couple songs like Freak Nasty or some others. She has all the other songs on it are better than Big Ol' Freak, and that was my issue. But Tina Snow is cool. When I want to listen to some ratchet shit and say like fuck these niggas, and I've really been on like fuck these niggas type shit lately, Tina Snow really helps. So I appreciate that. But yeah, Crash Talk. What do you think?
So like, it's interesting, right? A lot of people were like hating on this album, and I think unfairly so. Crash Talk is, let's think about this objectively. Crash Talk is not a classic album by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But Crash Talk is not a trash album by any stretch of the imagination either. I think Crash Talk suffers from a couple of things. I think it suffers from some really bad singles, but some really amazing deep cuts. One of the things that I kept saying to people is like, man, this Crash Talk album has some really low lows and some really high highs.
Which are facts.
Right? I think like the first two songs, Gang Gang and Tales, right? Tales is an amazing song where Schoolboy gets super vulnerable and he's talking about shit and he tells a story and it's pretty amazing to listen to. And if you listen to Tales and you go back and you're like, damn, this is that shit that hits. This is that shit that like we were looking for from Schoolboy. But then he goes into fucking Chopsticks, which is a god-awful song.
I hate it. Yeah. I hate it. That's one of the singles I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, I was so...
I don't understand. Because, like, when you first start the album, you're like, all right, bet, gang, all right, this is standard Schoolboy shit.
Yes.
And then you're at...
Give me the ratchetry.
And then you're at Tales, and you're like, oh, shit, he took it somewhere that I didn't think he was going to take it.
Cool.
And it's like, all right, but not only did he take it, I'm like, I'm in this mood of, like, damn, Schoolboy about to tell us his truth, right?
Right.
That's what this is going to be about. The whole thing crashing, like, Crash Talk, the fact that he has a mask over his face. All right, this all makes sense. Why the fuck is Chopsticks there?
And what are you talking? Is it just because you like sushi, Schoolboy? Because I know you do, because I watch your snaps, and I love sushi as well. This nigga's always snapping himself eating sushi.
And Travis Scott doesn't add shit to that song, by the way.
At all. He's starting to reach a certain level of status where niggas just have him on there for the name, and they don't have him on there for the sound, which sucks, because Travis adds fucking sound. Like...
He's definitely a different dynamic, but I think that dynamic is being overplayed in hip hop right now. So I think even as a result, he's also being overplayed, and it's sort of creating this issue where it's like, I don't want to hear any more Travis Scott because I've heard enough Travis Scott to last me the rest of the year.
Yep.
Yeah. But then you go like into Num Num Juice and you're like, all right, bet this is fine.
All right, check my ass, it's fine. Yeah.
And then I think this is where you get to the best part of the album is you have this Drunk with Black. Lies with Ty Dolla
Lies
Sign.
is my shit.
Yeah, and you sort of
Such a vibe.
all of a sudden you're vibing around.
Yeah.
And then he brings you back into that real shit with 5200. 5200 Black Folk all the way straight down to Crash is just like, yeah.
Because Floating's my shit. I fucking love Dangerous. I love Dangerous.
I like it because like he actually used Kid Cudi right.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people don't use Kid Cudi right.
Yep.
I think Schoolboy was one of the few to actually be able to use Kid Cudi right. But yeah, Floating is my shit too. But 5200 Black Folk all the way down to Crash. That whole entire section of the album, like, this is great.
Yep.
It's super high. I didn't like the Water song with Lil Baby. And that's weird thing because I'm a Lil Baby fan.
I liked it. It's singly. That's how I heard. Like, okay, got that water. Drip. Okay,
Yeah, I'm like,
drip too hard. Okay,
it's cool.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
Everything's
but
always
that
tricky.
little girl dancing to it revived the shit.
Oh yeah. That was
She was fucking killing it.
She was killing that shit. So yeah, I think I've been listening to Schoolboy, but I've only been listening to like 5 of the songs.
Yep.
So I would say I've been listening to Schoolboy. You get a chance to catch that Ari album?
Oh yeah, of course. I'm glad it took me a while. I'm usually not the nigga that like waits to consume things. I usually like when it's out, I'm anticipating it, so I listen to it. I just don't listen to anyone's opinion because I usually don't care. But this I didn't. For some reason, I waited. Like I wanted to wait till I was in a space to consume it, and I'm so glad that I did. I'm a huge fan of this Ari album, which was kind of to be expected. And that's why I think I like it, is because I think it had pretty high expectations, as is expected, especially from like your first major projects. But she had some phenomenal singles also. Like Shea Butter Baby was a hit. And Whipped Cream was a fucking hit.
And a great song. Shea Butter Baby is a great song.
It's perfect. Like, that's the thing. It's like fucking perfect. It's perfect for her. It's a perfect, like, kind of introductory song or whatever.
It
like,
is the most her that she can be in a single, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, really important for your first major single.
Yeah.
It's like, I am being authentic to myself as much as possible.
Yep.
And that's her introduction. I think that song Apartment on there, where she basically talks about having an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit I really like, because that shit was really, really smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever Ari gets in her smooth bag, like perfectly smooth, like let's just talk and sort of float along vibe.
Yeah.
And because she has the vocals to carry that, and she's enticing, right? Her voice is charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
I think like you have like the Janae Akios and all the whose voices are very sultry and like very seductive, whereas Ari's is different in tenor and quality. It's more like
it's comforting.
It's comforting.
It's
exactly.
not sexy. It's comforting.
It's comforting.
It's just like,
It's also charismatic. Like you're entertained by it. You smile when you hear it.
Yeah.
Like I think this album did a really good job of getting that across.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to that a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people like New Apartment. I do too. I definitely appreciate the vibe, and I can't wait to play when I get my own spot. Soon come. My favorite song actually is the first song on there. Chicago Boy is my fucking shit.
Really?
I love Chicago Boy.
All
and I
right.
didn't expect to, but I played the album, I played it all the way through, and I'm like, all right, which song did I like? And I clicked through the whole album because I never liked the first song on the album. It's usually one of the most forgetful in my opinion, but
Really?
it's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, most people, they either have like a big ass introduction or just like, hey, we're leading up to something. I feel like that's most albums, like we're leading up to something. So when you get to the middle, it's more like, yeah, it's that shit. To where the first song is usually pretty forgettable. But Chicago Boy is my motherfucking shit. Up Late is my motherfucking shit. I love GID's verse on Broke.
Oh yeah, he killed that shit.
Nipper ring, coochie ring, kiss them both, do a thing. I was like, hey,
Yeah, he killed
good
that
dude.
shit.
I love JID. Ugh. God. So yeah, really, really happy for Ari. Very solid album. I think it's going to be one of the most memorable albums so far to come out of 2019. I think it's going to have the most like replay value and all of that shit. Like very, very, very solid. Very good. I'm happy for her.
So the third person I want to talk about real quick, and then I want to tie that all together with a single point, is our buddy Anderson .Paak. He came back.
He did.
He came back to us.
He listened.
We had faith and he delivered.
Yes.
I really, really like Ventura. I really fuck with this album.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of shit on it that's just everything that I wanted from Oxnard.
Oh my God.
Was here.
Mm-hmm.
And he really did just like listen to like what we said and like how we said it.
I would like to point out, I don't hear any influence from the bald head man.
Shout out to the doctor, man. The good doctor is, sometimes he's a good manager.
Good dude. Just sometimes we need you to be quiet.
Actually, he's not the greatest dude in the world. Like, let's just say he's
musically
important. He's an important guy.
Yeah.
And we respect him. Andre 3000 was on this.
He was.
And I think Come Home is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted to go through these three real quick is because all the things we asked for, we're getting.
Yep.
So on episode 9, I think it was episode 9. I could be wrong. Basically, it's called Most Wanted of 2019. Bree and I basically put out a wish list of like, this is what we want from 2019. This is all we want. And these 3 albums were at the top of the list. We're like, we really like an Ari album. We really want a Schoolboy track to get us hype again. And we really want Anderson .Paak to come back strong. And all 3 came out. So we're basically like, prophets. And you should listen to us
not saying
everything.
we're the GOATs, but we're the GOATs.
Oh, also, I don't know if you saw it, but there was an Isaiah Rashad like clip of him working on music.
Yes, the preview.
So, like, look.
I mean, look. The good dudes are listening.
All I'm saying is, like, maybe we have a little more influence than y'all think.
I mean, we always say it before they recognize it, and then niggas like to backtrack and say they knew it all along. So just so it's on wax.
Play the tape, coach. So, but yeah, I wanted to bring that. So what's really cool is, like, he talked about Ventura, and he's like, yeah, this was supposed to be a double album that's supposed to come out with Oxnard, and because Ventura was another town that was adjacent to Oxnard, and it was a place I would always go to, like, enjoy myself. And I thought that was so cool, and it made me even sadder about Oxnard, because I'm like, wow, what a great concept. Why didn't they just let you do that?
Yeah.
And
Dr. Dre.
I got even more angry because I was like, this is such a good album. And what I wanted to do and what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to make a playlist of both albums. I'm going to take out the shit I don't like.
Oh, that would be fire.
And like put together like what I think is the best of 2 albums. Because I think what would have happened is if he had been allowed to do the double disc, some of the songs would have disappeared from Oxnard and some of the songs would have disappeared from this to create a more like reasonable length of shit.
Yeah.
And truly this was like, he had Smokey Robinson on his album. He had
Brandy. He brought Brandy out the cut.
Sonia Elise. Like he had Nate Dogg. Like
Nate Dogg.
Rest in peace, yo. Rest in peace. Like he had the GOAT. Like and every single time he had a feature, he killed it.
Yep.
Right. Every single time he had a feature. I think my favorite is with the Brandy.
Oh my God, it's such a hit. Yeah. I love it.
And then obviously, what can we do with Nate Dogg? That's talking back and forth. But Yada Yada is my shit.
I feel it.
I listen to Yada Yada a lot. And then King James is smooth. Like, this is what the fuck we were looking for.
Jasmine Sullivan feature. Where the fuck are you, Jasmine Sullivan? Where the fuck are you?
So the thing is, like, I hope this sticks, right? I hope people are able to, like, shake off the Oxnard shit and, like, really, like, stick with this and, like, realize this came out. Because one of the things that I didn't like is, like, this didn't get the press run and hype that it deserved.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and it's like, it came out and people were like, oh, yeah, Anderson .Paak came out. And then it was the blip. But it was such a good album, it should have been talked about more. And I'm worried that people got like burnt out on the Oxnard shit real fast and that they didn't really pay attention to the fact that it came out.
It's literally my biggest fear, and that's what I think exactly happened, which is the literal opposite of what this nigga needed. Literal opposite.
It's unfortunate. What else you been listening to? It doesn't have to come out in 2019, by the way. Just what you been listening to.
Well, something that I did want to mention, I wanted to get your thoughts because I don't think we've talked about it yet, was anger management. Did you listen to Rico Nasty Kenny?
Stuff.
How did you feel about it?
I felt the same way about it that I feel about all of Rico shit.
Which is?
I like Rico because she's from PG. I like Kenny because he got great beats. I think she makes music for a different audience than me. And I think I listen to it and I enjoy it. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Am I going to like re-listen to that album ever again? Probably not. Do I appreciate the fact that it was made and do I understand the importance of it? Indeed. Indeed I do. I think Kenny did a great job. I think Rico can rap. I think she proved some things on this album, right? I think she proved that she has there's more dimensions to her music than just like her yelling and just the aggression, and which I appreciated a lot. And I'm curious to see as she moves forward if she explores sort of more of that, because that's the part that I would be more interested in. I also saw a very, very funny tweet that's, I guess, a diss, but whatever. They said Rico Nasty makes music for people who have never been in a fight, who think they can fight. And I was like, this is funny. But it's just jokes aside.
Interesting.
I think Rico did a great job with this. And I think her and Kenny make very, very good music for the audience that they are wanting to make it for.
Yep.
And yeah, I can't wait to see where she goes. What did you think of it?
I actually feel the same. I was listening to this like very solid piece of work. I don't think this is necessarily made for me or for my type of taste, which I don't think is a problem. She's somebody that I would look she's another person that I would look at and stare at all day. I love her looks. I love her style. I think she's somebody who I appreciate, I guess, aesthetically, artistically.
I appreciated that album cover a lot because like the third eye pineal gland being a mouth instead. And that was actually very masterfully done. And I'm really appreciative of that.
Everything that she does visually, I'm always so impressed by. Like just her, like, everything she does, her cover arts, like her looks, just her, everything she wears to the festivals. I'm just like her makeup, her fucking hair. Everything I'm always fucking with. So I like this because this was this is who Rico Nasty is. If you aren't hip and kind of should be hip, this is who Rico Nasty is. So I think that was a great like, hello, this is me. And I'm really excited, kind of like how you pointed out, to see like what that grows and where she goes with that. And I think she has a lot of potential to go some really, really interesting places. I don't think Rico Nasty is going anywhere. And I'm happy to see
exactly
where she's going.
She's not just like a Twitter spark, right?
Not at all.
Because a lot of artists recently that have been good, people have gotten really excited over their aesthetic, have been Twitter sparks, right? Yep. Doja Cat has been making music for a long time, but she's kind of just a Twitter spark at the same time because people still haven't paid attention to her despite her having a colors feature and all the other stuff. So it's like
Doja's lit. I fucking love her weird ass.
I think we both are relatively fans of her.
Yeah.
And so like maybe hopefully it turns out she's more than a spark and becomes a flame, but Rico actualized the idea of like the energy she was putting out. What other shit you been listening to? Because I got a bunch of like semi underground shit that I'm gonna mention. And I'm gonna give recommendations to, but I wanted to get all the.
Well, I'm happy that FKA Twigs is back. She's only dropped a single.
Oh yeah,
I'm very happy that she's back. I'm so happy. I was just waiting to see what music video she was gonna put all this motherfucking pole dancing in. So I was happy it was the first one. Because, I mean, she's been posting videos of her training and pole dancing for a year. I love FKA Twigs. I love her so much. I actually love her and Shia LaBeouf together as well. I think it's actually the weirdest fucking pair ever.
She dates Shia LaBeouf?
She's been dating Shia LaBeouf for about a year now.
I don't really follow these relationships, so...
Yeah, no, she's been dating Shia LaBeouf for about a year now. And they've been, like, pretty low-key with it. Way, like, the opposite of her relationship with Edward or whatever from Twilight. I think she's like, okay, I'm dating all these weird-ass white boys, but I'm gonna, like, stay a little low with it until, like, we actually can prove that we have chemistry.
That's funny.
Anyway. So stupid. Anyway, but yeah, huge. I like the song. I love the video 10 times more. She's somebody who was one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to music videos or just visually in general. I love the dedication that she puts to anything. I own
the album with the clown on it. I don't remember what it's called.
The album with
blue album. Blue album with this clown. It's a clown face on it. I don't know what the album called.
It's not coming to me.
It's a good album though. I listen to it from time to time.
It's fucking great. Her music is great. It's weird as shit.
Very much.
I like her because she's like my female Flying Lotus. That's what I really like about her, visually and like sonically. But great music video.
Flylo released a song.
Huh? He fucking did.
Yeah, Flylo released a song.
That's what I was gonna lead up to. I'm really fucking excited for this Flylo album. The feature list looks fucking crazy. I cannot wait to hear a Solange and motherfucking Flylo song. It better be fire. I hope it's not trash. I hope it's not trash. I hope it's not trash.
You listen to Lion Babe?
I do listen to Lion Babe.
So Lion Babe released this album called Cosmic Wind. I'm not sure if it was this year or last year. Oh, it was this year, 2019.
Yep.
And it's pretty amazing. She got a Raekwon feature on it. And
interesting.
It's good as shit too.
Interesting.
Shouts to Raekwon. Shouts to Wu-Tang. She got a Raekwon feature on it, and it's called the Raekwon feature song is called Western World, and that's honestly to me the best song on the album. And I don't say that just because I like Wu-Tang a lot, but like first of all, the album is masterful. Lion Babe did a very good job. They are really technically the band great. She's Lake Elite 47 on it too.
Sure does.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Pretty much every song's a banger, and you can just go through the entire thing. Oh, she got a Bilal feature. Shouts Bilal. I ain't seen that man in a minute. Yo, he's been around forever. But
right.
If I had to tell you a song to listen to off that project, I would say Western Road with Raekwon. She's real, or they are, because technically it's like a singer and a guitarist, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. They are, I think, what would you describe them as? How would you describe Lion Babe? They're not like R&B.
No.
I wouldn't say that. They're not. They're like, what are they? Fuck.
I would say they're more.
You got a Raekwon feature, so you hip hop. So just.
I would say, yeah, they're more like. I think they would consider themselves alternative or experimental. I think that they live more in like an electronic, soulful, hip hop, poppy kind of lane.
Soul electronic.
Kind of.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe that's what neo soul is, because no one's been able to tell me what neo soul is, anyways.
Man, but I'm a huge fan of Lion Babe. I'm a huge fan of her voice. Number one, beautiful girl. But after you Google who her parents are, it's like duh. So I'm glad that she's like parents? Vanessa Williams.
Oh wow,
and that very, very, very fine black man that she made a baby with. Everyone knows who it is. But yeah, beautiful fucking baby.
I've been listening a lot. I've been listening to the Baby's album a lot still.
Babe, I I love the baby. The baby is that nigga. I love the baby.
Baby on Baby is really one of the, like, I think going to be one of the albums of the year.
Yes.
That was released in 2019. Yeah. Because, like, everything is so solid. And, like, you know what I love about this album is that the first song is such high energy and it never drops off.
Yep.
The entire album keeps you, like, way the fuck up. And the entire time it's just bars on bars on bars. And it's also hard shit he's saying. I don't know, like, I don't know if he has a history of just fucking other people's girlfriends, but clearly, like, he's had some experiences. Cause every song is just like, sometimes I can really
saying that.
Listen, some of the situations he's describing I've also been in. So I'm just like, huh. No, you're telling the truth.
Relatable.
Yeah, it's very relatable.
Sure. No, I'm a big fan of the baby, and I'm appreciating that, like, I'm starting to hear his music a lot more everywhere I go, like the brunches and the restaurants and shit are starting to play his songs. But I'm still like, I'm not tired of them yet. Even when I hear him on the radio, I'm just like, hey. I get right into it. Like, I fall right into the beat and start dancing. I'm a huge fan of him.
It's so easy to fall right into all.
And I like how he has a lot of fun. Like, it just seems like he's enjoying himself. He's not trying to take this rap shit too seriously, which I think would be the wrong idea to do with this album anyway. Like, this isn't like bars on bars. It's like, it's fun.
But it's
like,
still bars though.
It's
right?
bars for sure. But it's like, it's playful. It's like, nigga, I'm so goofy, I'm gonna fuck your bitch and then rap about it and then dap you up and leave. Like, I appreciate that.
You know what's interesting is he has a song on there about Suge Knight and a song on there about Tupac. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, huh. It's just cool.
He's weird.
He's weird.
That's what I like.
He's a weird dude.
I love it.
He's from North Carolina.
Yeah, shout out to the Carolinas.
And we are gonna do original episodes. We're gonna start doing original episodes, and we're gonna do North Carolina because I've been shouting this out for a minute.
You have,
and like North Carolina's been putting on, yo.
Yeah, they're on the come up for sure.
All right. What else?
Yeah, did you some more? Your listens.
Okay, my listens. If we're gonna start getting in deep, we're gonna start getting in deep. So. Formerly Chris McClenny, now he's just McClenny. He's from the DMV. He released a EP called I'm Not Here, so shoutouts to him. It's very like R&B-esque. He worked with April and Vista.
Okay.
He works with a lot of really good DMV artists. You've probably heard him before if you're from the DMV. I guess he's technically a little more Baltimore adjacent, but you've definitely heard his vocals before on things because I think he has a song with Gold Link as well, but I could be wrong. Gold
Link is not afraid to hang in Baltimore.
Well, he loves Baltimore. That's
how
he came up. That's how he came up for sure. The next person I listen to a lot is this dude called Aaron May. So to give you a insight into the kind of person Mayron is, oftentimes a lot of hip hop pages will pop up on my Explorer and Instagram, and they'll always have people rapping. They'll be like, "Oh, look at this person. They have bars." Sometimes I just take a good hour and just listen to them because that's who I am as a person, right? And so I'm going through and I'm like listening to like random Instagram videos, and this person, this guy named Aaron May made me stop, and I was like, holy shit, who the fuck is this? And I'm laying next to my girlfriend in bed, like, while this is happening. Like, she's like, whatever. She's chilling, working on something. And I'm like, yo, listen to this. And she's like, oh, who is this? I'm like, I don't know. So I look in the description. I'm like, Aaron May. I go to SoundCloud. I type in Aaron May. And he has this tape or this album called Chase. And in this album called Chase, he produces most of it. And every single song is like the vibes. I don't think I've heard a better vibey album recently, to be honest. So I think I would check him out for sure.
Just download it.
Yeah. So I fuck with them heavy. Oh, Saba released Pivot Gang.
Yes.
Or rather, Pivot Gang released Pivot Gang. It's a misnomer to say. Saba is a part of a group. He has a crew, and they're called Pivot Gang. And they released an album called You Can't Sit With Us, and everyone came super hard on it. It's a big album because it's a group rapping, so I would definitely give that a listen if you enjoyed the whole sort of like Saba Chicago Justice League scene. Still working on making Chicago Justice League a thing, but one day it'll happen. No Name always posts pictures of her, Saba, and Smino being like, yeah, these guys are gonna change hip hop. Yeah. And like, she's right. She's 100% right. So Cautious Clay released this thing called Table of Context. It's a cool album. I would say if you need something to listen to because a lot of stuff hasn't been released this year, his song Sidewinder is very good. Do you know who Coltrane is? Yes. So last year, Coltrane released this thing called Boot. And I'm not sure if you heard it or not. No. I think you'd really like it. Coltrane, by the way, COL3 TRANE. Mm-hmm. And on Boot, he has this song called Chemicals, which sometimes I sit and I replay that song over and over and over again. So you get into these moods sometimes, and like not necessarily the best moods in the world. You just need something to listen to. And I'll sit there and I'll play this song, Chemicals, over and over and over incessantly. Makes me sound like a crazy person, but it's that good of a song.
Just a tad.
Yeah,
no worries.
People do it all the time though. Like people act like they don't play music over and over and over
I am
again.
that nigga. I don't even let the song finish and I start it over.
Exactly. You got any like sleeper picks? I got more, but I don't want to just keep going.
Well, I just wanted to give a shout out to Steve Lacy. I've been playing Inside over and over fuck again. I'm excited for this album to come out, next week? I think he said the 24th or so it comes out.
Yeah.
I'm highly anticipating that. I've been putting niggas on to Steve Lacy for a minute, which is so easy to do because he has influenced so many projects that have come out in the past 2 years. I hope niggas are doing their Googles. Steve Lacy has influenced a lot of motherfucking albums, like as far production wise, that have come out the past 2 years or so.
And if you don't know who Steve Lacy is, look at the internet, look at the band members, figure out which one he is.
Do your Googles. Yeah. Just do your Googles. He's on his way. But I'm really, really excited for this Steve Lacy album. I hope it's as good as it should be. And I think it's going to be, if so, it's going to be a great year for Steve Lacy. And I would see him kind of coming out and starting to overshadow the rest of these internet bandmates that are trying to go solo, even Sid.
Even Sid?
Even Sid.
Oh, wow.
Sid has a lane, especially because like she's on her sexy dyke shit and like cool, feeling it.
It's a rap, but all right, we'll see.
I mean, that's her lane though, which is like, like I'm a cool, sexy stud singing about these bitches. So all the cool wannabe sexy studs can listen to this shit and sing to their bitches. But
wannabe sexy studs.
Steve Lacy just has, not saying that Sid does not. Steve Lacy just has like more of a universal vibe.
That's true. I think Steve Lacy can appeal to more people.
For sure. And I think he's going to. Yeah. And like the music alone, like not taking in personality or looks and none of that. Music alone, vibe and sound alone. I mean, which I think these past 2 years reflect that. That's why I said, look at the amount of music he's worked on in the past 2 years. And he's given me some of my favorite projects by just way of production, like that Raven Lene project that we talked about with the R&B episode. So I'm really excited for the Steve Lacy project. Inside is my shit and I play it at least once a day. Need more songs to come out.
That's dope. I think 2 projects that I want to mention, I don't want to forget for sure, are Code of the Friend. Code of the Friend released something called Anything. Code of the Friend is from LA. Just a dope dude. Again, sort of in the same vein, just super vibey music that you can kind of like bump along in the summertime too. But something that's a little different is, so there's been this weird thing where a lot of people call themselves Maxo. There's Maxo Cream. There's other people.
I peeped that.
Yeah, but there's also an artist called Maxo. Maxo has a number of good projects. My favorite by him is called Gold in the Mud, and it's only 3 songs, but there's so much there. I think he's one of the best picture painters in current hip hop, right? What I mean by that is like all the new guys that are coming out, Maxo does an amazing job of like sort of like taking you to where he is and taking you to the block he's on and showing you what's going on there. And I really, really appreciated that. So Maxo, Gold in the Mud for sure.
I cannot shut out Beyonce. I mean, she didn't necessarily give us new music other than this Before I Let Go cover. History, bitch. Excuse me. Sorry. I better hear it at everybody's cookout. Excuse me.
Can you talk about that Beyonce shit a little more? Because like, we shouldn't just brush it off.
I mean, yeah, no, we should never brush off the queen. It's just like, if you're unaware, honestly, I don't even know if Google will save you. Get from under the rock, sis. But no, Beyonce released this live album in accompaniment with the documentary that she dropped on Netflix, which was basically recapping her historical homecoming performance at Coachella that she did in 2017. The documentary was great. She's one of my favorite people to get documentaries from at this point. Like even though Lemonade's not necessarily a documentary, it's definitely like a more artistic film. Lemonade is fucking flawless. And then the Beyonce documentary that she released first. This bitch knows how to produce the things.
Yeah. So all of those, right? But one of the things I want to talk about is Beyonce, I think, did something really cool with this cover and shit, is that like the vocals on it, no one else can do that in music, right? Who else is singing like that, right?
Not a fucking body.
The thing is, like, I saw a Jessie J video on...
Yeah, that was me.
You saw that too,
That was
right?
me. I put it on the TL.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking about it in depth.
Yeah, and she did a cover of Whitney Houston, and it was amazing, right? And I'm like, I can't think of anyone that sings like this regularly anymore except for Beyonce, right? Yep. But people have the ability to do so, and they're not. And
I don't really know if they have the ability to do so. I mean, Jessie J is a fucking powerhouse. And I mean, I think she's kind of in that lane with like the Adeles and stuff like that, who I think are usually like associated with having like a beyond like supernova, like no one else has this kind of talent. Even with Beyonce, I think what sets her out apart from like being one of the best live performers ever is the fact that she is able to sing with this type of caliber for long periods of time.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can do that but Beyonce, to be honest. I don't think anyone.
Oh, so you think it's a talent thing? You think Beyonce is just truly just like?
I think it's talent, but also it's complete discipline. I mean, and that's what you see in the documentary. That's why it's really important to watch the documentary, especially if you are unfamiliar with like the Homecoming album and want to consume it. You need to watch the documentary so you can get the background on it. I mean, she just starved the fuck out of herself. She completely put herself through a very grueling, regimen workout to be able to give us a performance of this caliber. I mean, she talked about all the food that she cut out. She talked about how much she was rehearsing, how much she was working out. And, this is right after she delivered twins, mind you. But I think the reason why artists don't do this is simply because they can't. I don't think they have the amount of discipline that Beyonce has. Which is really what I feel like, talent aside, is what sets her apart from every other performer ever. Is they're just not as disciplined as her. They don't care as much as she does.
I think there's an important takeaway from that, right? Is that, like you said, she's incredibly talented, but I think that discipline is a talent in itself.
Without a doubt.
I think not a lot of people can emulate that. It's not just about working hard. There's people who have talents for working hard and knowing themselves and knowing how to do that.
And they know how to just push themselves and are able to like take certain, are able to sacrifice themselves for the sake of the art. And I mean, I've talked about before, like the sake of whether that's healthy and stuff like that. I think those are all arguable points that can be had, but this bitch just commits. She knows how to commit. And because she's also been doing this her entire life and has been training in this way her entire life, this is something that I feel like she's worked her entire career to be able to do. Like, this wasn't like last year she was like, oh, I'm going to do this performance and now I'm going to work this hard to do it. Like, this is what happens when you completely dedicate and devote your life to doing one thing, for lack of a better explanation. And like,
no, I think it's one thing. I think she wanted to be a performer.
Yeah, right. We'll sacrifice her body, we'll sacrifice her relationships, we'll sacrifice anything to be able to achieve that.
And a lot of the best have done this. Like, so like Erykah Badu, for example, like lives to be a performer. She lives to perform. And she even said it herself, like, yeah, I enjoyed recording music, but my love is to perform this stuff.
But you can so tell that if you haven't seen Erykah Badu live, that is the best way to consume her.
It's a treat.
It is. It's the most transcending. She's one of the most transcending performers.
Yeah, man. That performance at Afropunk was amazing.
Oh, she's just insane. But
so before we go, I want to shout out a couple more people. I'm sorry, I have a lot of like music people. So Mariba, I've been listening to a lot lately because of like her recent album. I forgot what it's called. I'm sorry. I've been listening to that a lot. Oh, Into the Wild. Yeah. And she, works closely with JID, works closely with that whole Dreamville crew, Spillage Village. Shout out to them. So shout out to Mariba. Two, I guess, like more local MCs that aren't as on, but are also associated with Spillage Village, mind you. So here, I'll give away some of the secrets, right? If you really like music, the best way to figure out cool new music to listen to is to go to your favorite like artist SoundCloud, like the ones who haven't quite made it, or SoundCloud, Spotify, whatever, and figure out who they're following and who they like, right? One of my favorite things to do is to dive into SoundCloud likes of people that I like and then figure out where to go from there. So you can go to our SoundCloud page. We have a lot of tracks liked, I think almost over like 200 at this point, and it's a gold mine. So I did that one day, and I did that one day while I was listening to Mariba, actually, and I went to the Spillage Village page, and I saw that, what happens is a lot of famous artists, when they get on, they unlike all that shit.
So why?
I mean, it is what it is. I kind of understand it, because like sometimes when you like something, it's an endorsement of that thing, and they don't want to necessarily be associated with it, yada, yada, yada. Whatever.
Boo.
At the point that I went to JID's page, he hadn't unliked something. And I noticed that like he hadn't unliked a page who I already followed and who had mutual follows with me, but that I hadn't heard before. And there was a guy from Baltimore that I've met at the Crown once before. His name is Jordan Bryant. And rap is a lot of things today. But I think one of the cool things that rap has always been is it's always been a report. It's always been reporting on the hood. It's always been like, this is the state of reality right now.
Right.
And I don't think there's been a lot of rappers from Baltimore who've done it justice in reporting the reality of Baltimore or reporting the reality of how it feels. This guy, Jordan Bryant, honestly has done the best job. Like, his shit brought me almost to tears. Like, literal tears. I'm sitting there like, all right, this is something that I didn't expect to happen. So shout out to, I think he's from the east side of Baltimore, so shout out to the east side. I lived over west for a couple of years, so my experiences are a little different, but that same spirit is brought out. So for sure, if you got a chance, go listen to Jordan Bryant. He's really dope. Also, No Name released Song 32. And just like I said, she's coming back, and she's coming back strong, y'all. Have the faith. She's taking a step up, and she's gonna keep going back up. Also, if y'all just want some turn up music, TJ Porter, he has a song called Recount, and he has a project associated with that. So, my last year I picked Lil Mosey as my little turn up guy. This year I'm picking TJ Porter. So feel free to go fuck with him. Fun fact on how I figured him out. I was actually watching LeBron James's son highlight mixtape that he posted, and I was like, what song is this in the background? Because again, who am I as a person? But like,
that's me. That's so me.
Yeah. And so I went and I found the song. So yeah, that's all I got.
That reminds me, I can't even remember the song. If anybody is familiar with The Sinner, this series on Netflix, it's actually surprisingly really good. I don't really like Jessica Biel as an actress, and kind of still don't, but I think that was one of her best performances. Whatever that soundtrack song is on that fucking show, it fucking slaps, and I need it. I'm gonna find it. You should give it to me if you know what it is. But it's all the takes that I have, man.
Yeah. Thank you again for listening. Hopefully you found some gems in here that you enjoy for later, and you have a better understanding of where we're at musically right now. And yeah, give us your suggestions of what you've been listening to in the comments, please. Tweet at us at a hip hop podcast. Let us know what we should be listening to that we missed. And thank you so much.
Yeah, guys, I really want to thank everyone for riding with us, being patient through all of our hiccups and fuck ups and stuff. But we're growing, we're progressing. I'm really proud of where this podcast is going, and stay tuned for some new upgrades. We got some new sounds coming, maybe some pictures, maybe some videos. We'll see.
Maybe some video.
Stay tuned. You're only gonna know if you keep staying with us, so don't go nowhere. Okay, guys, love you. Thanks. Bye.
When does it come back in?
Hey guys, Bria the curator here. Thank you for listening. Just wanted to let you guys know that we're officially on Apple, the whole podcasting thing. So click that button, follow, subscribe. We're also on SoundCloud and Spotify. So follow us on all the things. It'll be worth it. Thanks.